Hey guys, it's Tiffany here, and in today's video challenge, we were asked to talk about a time when we had to suddenly move or leave or something like that. And I am going to talk about the time when we had to evacuate. Just last summer, we had a big old fire. It was called the Caldor Fire, and it burned thousands and thousands of acres of land. I think it was like over 60,000 acres of land. And it burned for like quite a few weeks before it got to our town, but we never thought it would get here. I mean, everybody in this town didn't think it would get here. We went through the Angora fire that burned my parents' house down, and we were at my parents' house when that happened, and we had to evacuate there, and that fire happened really, really fast. I remember stomping out embers as we were like getting ready to leave, and then everything just went black. And we were like driving through just like really black, dark smoke. But, and we didn't have to evacuate the whole town for that fire, but it burned down like 207 houses or something like that. And so that's why we didn't think it would make it here, or we would ever have to evacuate. And we didn't think it would go over all the granite that's on the mountain. And I mean, those hills are so dang steep. And I would say, I don't know, our whole town was just very astounded by how it happened so fast. It was one morning we woke up and it was right on the crest of the mountain, and we just couldn't like do anything. Like, I mean, all week long we were kind of preparing and thinking like, okay, if this did happen, what would we take, you know, and kind of prepping the house and things like that if we did have to evacuate. But this one was just all of a sudden, it was a mandatory evacuation, and everybody just was like, we gotta go. And we were kind of going through the house and picking out things, and I know when I was also like looking at things before, throughout the week, prepping and stuff, but and in this like emergency moment of looking for stuff, it was interesting to see the things that really mattered and the things that I really wanted to take with me that were valuable to me, or that everything else seemed like so replaceable, and I was just like, oh my gosh, okay, that can stay, and I was all ready to come home and just like throw everything away because I didn't need it. But I'm still working on the whole getting rid of everything. But anyway, so we loaded up the car and everything and took off, but we actually, and it was just like crazy because everybody was on the road, and it took hours and hours just to leave town. It took us 4 hours to get out of town, and it took us like 2 hours one time, like just to move 10 feet. It was insane, and I just remember driving home or driving off the mountain crying and stuff because I don't know, I think I was triggered because of the emotions of when the Angora fire happened and it burning down my parents' house, and it was my childhood home, and you know, just things like that. And also just leaving behind our home. I mean, my kids were so emotional about it too, and you know, they didn't want the house to burn down and stuff like that. But so yeah, we ended up going over to Carson City where my parents live and stayed with them for a bit, which we were very, very blessed because a lot of people around here had nowhere to go, and the hotels were charging extreme prices, taking advantage of people in a really bad situation. So yeah, we stayed with my parents for about 3 weeks, and the smoke was still just super bad, even in Carson City. We were kind of, I don't know, we were just, my kids, we all shared like one room, all 5 of us in one room. So 3 weeks was kind of that long. Sorry guys. And then when we came home, I know the first day my son and I drove up, as soon as the mandatory evacuation was lifted, we drove home right away just to kind of check on our plants. And also there's like quite a few things we needed, but we weren't going to come home right away because the fire was still there and we didn't want to have to go through another mandatory evacuation. And so we just kind of checked on our stuff and then went back. But while I was here, it was the most interesting thing because the city was dead. There was like nobody on the roads, and it was just the quietest moments ever. As I was like watering the yard and stuff, I had my phone in my back pocket listening to music, and I could hear it so loud. Like usually I can never hear music coming out of my phone or barely hear the phone ring. So that was just really interesting to me. I was just like, this is so awesome and peaceful. So, but anyways, so that was my evacuation story. Yeah, so see you guys at the next video. Thanks. Bye.